Hi, my name is Priscilla and welcome to my YouTube channel. For our first couple of videos, I want to share about my family's recent cruise to Alaska via the Disney Wonder. So for this first video, I want to focus on Vancouver because that's where you embark and disembark. And if you're like me or you read a lot of typical advice, the goal is to always get to your port a day early. So if you're looking for things to do, where to stay, I hope you'll stay and I'll share what we did and what we liked, all the top hitters, so you don't have to worry or plan too much. So first off, where to stay. We personally stay at the Westin Bayshore, which is a Marriott property if you are a Marriott Bonvoy member and want to add on to that loyalty program. It's a great location. It's on the beachfront.
The hotel is over there somewhere. But we're over here. Look at that cute little gas station in the middle for the boats. Smallest little chevron in the world. Maybe not the smallest, who knows?
It's about a 10-minute walk to Canada Place where that cruise terminal is. So it's not the closest. The closest ones are like Pan Pacific, I saw, or I think a Fairmont. But I think those do come with a higher price tag. It's not a bad location though. It's basically around the same area. It's just a little bit of a ways down. It actually partners with Princess Cruises since we saw the Princess Cruise icons all around the lobby. So I think there's some sort of shared usage, shared promotion there. Overall, the property is really lovely. There's a couple restaurants, there's pools, there's saunas, there's a wonderful gym. Our family's personal favorite was the H Tasting Lounge. They actually have a pretty well customized cocktail menu. It's themed around travel, so kind of like different areas and like little twists on classics. But they also have their own specialty cocktails as well. So it's always really nice when there's like a nice cocktail bar in your hotel and you don't have to travel very far. It's like your fun nighttime activity. Next is food. For Japanese style food, my family and I went to Sashimiya. It's a Japanese deli and you can take sushi to go. There's actually a nearby park and actually like beaches that's a few blocks down where I think people go and picnic. The seafood was very fresh. They use real crab in like their California roll. But definitely if you go, I recommend the premium chirashi bowl. I think that's the best bang for your buck. Really great fresh cuts of sashimi with like your warm rice. A really nice meal that isn't too pricey. For Chinatown, since Vancouver does have a large Asian population, I know there's a lot more options down in Richmond, but Richmond is like a 30-minute drive away from downtown Vancouver. So if you're there for a shorter stay, more in downtown Vancouver, there is Chinatown nearby, and I will recommend Cam Wai dim sum. It's absolutely delicious. We ordered all of our classic favorites, and each one had wonderful flavor profiles. Everything kind of tasted a little bit different from each other. It wasn't like some generic meat flavor across. I also recommend the Boss Bakery. There's actually a really cute map of Chinatown that's not like a mural that someone made that kind of highlighted all the highlights of the few streets, and both of these are on there. And then the Boss Bakery is just, it was just wonderful. It had lots of options like a lot of the bakeries, but I got to get the wife cake. It's candied winter melon typically in like a flaky pastry. You don't see it very often, but I personally love it a lot, so I was really excited to see it. My brother really loved the date pastry. The Portuguese egg tarts were also really great. And the last recommendation I have is the Mackenzie Room. It's marketed as a Canadian restaurant because they use a lot of local produce and meat. They change their menu fairly often and rotate it to fit whatever is in season at the time. They obviously have their classics. I highly recommend their showstopper salad. It's like this 34 ingredient salad, but it has literally every texture. It is creamy, it is crunchy, there's tanginess. Amazing salad. And they're also known for the chicken of the sea, which is sort of like this sea urchin pate with squid ink brioche. Really nice, really interesting. Never had anything quite like that. Those are definite must tries. And lastly, for things to do, I will say Vancouver is kind of a sleepy city. Not too much going on unless I'm sure there's a concert happening or a festival of some kind. We were also there during Victoria Day, so I don't know if it's just because it's a holiday weekend, so it was pretty mellow. There's a couple museums which I normally love to explore, but they're not necessarily specialty museums, so I didn't feel like those were necessarily the highlights. I will say I think the biggest highlight of Vancouver is the nature scene. There are beautiful, gorgeous mountains contrasted with like the ocean and blue skies and sunshine, and it really is breathtaking and stunning. For us just walking around in the city, we went to Sunset Beach. I recommend that. We actually got to see some whales there, so that was really neat. That was basically my wildlife sighting for the trip, so I was really grateful that I got to see whale pups. You know, that counts. The other recommendation that I'm sure you've seen everywhere is Stanley Park, a big, huge park in the middle, or like kind of on the side of the city, but you can like bike through there, you can walk through there. I believe the zoo and the aquarium are also in there as well. We didn't really get a chance to go. We opted to kind of stay in and have like a resort day rather than rent bikes and go out. But I definitely know that that's a popular and favorite tourist destination. And lastly, there's the Capilano Suspension Bridge Park. We actually want to do this on the day when we arrive back from the cruise because they actually have an area where you can check in your luggage. They have a shuttle that takes you directly there. So that might be a fun like 3 to 4 hours probably with transportation activity after your cruise, before your flight, if your flight is taking off a little bit late in the day and you don't want to worry about your luggage and where to store them while you're exploring the city and walking about. So we didn't have a chance to do it because, spoiler alert, I sprained my ankle, so we ended up just going straight to the airport and hanging out there. But that's definitely one of the recommendations, something that I would do the next time I'm there. Overall, that's it. I hope you learned something. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. And if you're heading out on the Alaskan cruise soon, I hope you have so much fun. Alaska truly is magnificent. Definitely a bit of a slower travel vibe, so great for relaxation. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.